back when everyone wasn't doing it and it was really a much more like specialist thing.
And when do you think they can actually see results? How much time do they need?
We give customers the option, do you want your referral program to be indexed on Google or not indexed on Google?
Guest is Kirsty Sharman, founder of Referral Factory, a referral marketing platform used by thousands of businesses to turn their happiest customers into a real growth channel. Kirsty has spent more than 15 years in marketing and growth. She started out South Africa, early online media buying agencies, co-founded Webfluential, which became Africa's largest influencer marketing platform, and later turned her attention to referral marketing after seeing the return of investment of influencer marketing decline. So once again, welcome, Kirsty.
Thanks. Great to be here. I'm happy to be chatting with you today.
Thank you. So let's talk about your background. So we already mentioned South Africa. So how it all started them and why at first place?
Yes, I've had a long and colorful background, but always in marketing. And in South Africa, I got into computers really early, was really fascinated with the internet. And immediately knew I wanted to work on the internet, but I didn't know what it was back then, and obviously my parents were really worried because that didn't sound like a real job. But I got into online marketing really early, back when everyone wasn't doing it and it was really a much more specialist thing. And then just basically started out doing content creation, creating content for brands, realizing these videos need to get views, then got into paid media, understood that as a channel. But realized paid media was maybe going to become commoditized, or the margins you could make in that business were going to go down over time as more and more people offered it. And that's really when I started looking for new marketing channels, new ways I could offer to my clients to help them grow, new channels to help them acquire customers. And one of the channels I kind of stumbled across was people as a marketing channel. And back then, I don't know if you remembered 2010 Twitter, and it was new and social, it was a new thing that all of a sudden people were becoming popular online. And it was a new kind of type of celebrity. And what I really just understood was, brands at the moment pay for these spots on TV, they pay for these spots on billboards. And I think in the future, they're going to pay for spots on people's social media channels. And that's how I got into people as a marketing channel. And that really progressed. We started working with influencers. I was working with really a lot of the top brands across Africa, sourcing their influencers for them. Then that progressed to more adding on more affiliate type models where it was less risky for the client, because they would, say, for example, hire an affiliate and they would bring X many leads and the client could only pay on conversion. And then I was really chasing this, how do I get the best quality leads? It seemed like there was 101 marketing channels, and as the internet was just growing and growing, the effectiveness of all of these channels was going down. I don't know if you spend, for example, on paid media, on Google ads, and we now are spending probably 5 times the amount we were 5 years ago just to get the same amount of clicks, and the quality of the leads we have found has also deteriorated. And I found that a lot. It's as the internet got bigger and bigger, it wasn't really hard to find leads. It was really hard to find very good quality leads that were very likely to convert and turn into money. And I'm sure that a lead that doesn't turn into money is a waste anyway. And and that's kind of how I stumbled onto referrals. And at the time, I was doing a bit of consulting for a couple of one bank and one startup, so a smaller and a bigger business, and they both had a really large customer base. And I thought, who better to spread the word about these businesses than the people who are already paying them? You cannot buy a trusted recommendation better than that. And it really was an experiment. This was maybe 5 years ago. And then I did a bit of research and I saw like Dropbox and Uber and some of these like kind of cool tech companies, they had referral programs and that's what they used to grow. And I thought like, why isn't every business doing this? This is just so, for me, it was so logical, but took me a while to convince the world, but for me, it was logical. And essentially basically custom built referral programs for this like startup and bank, and like both of them just like within a year were their top performing marketing channels, bringing the highest quality leads, bringing consistent leads. And really most importantly, it was like best for the business because they only paid on a conversion. So they had to like not risk any marketing budget. And that was the point when it really worked for these like two brands that I decided to go all in on referral marketing, build Referral Factory, and try to take this to more businesses. And our journey since then has been like a 5-year journey. And to be honest, really, it's just mostly been spent trying to figure out, like, you know, how can we make this simple enough that a business can launch a referral program like quickly? How can we make it easy? You know, there's a lot of like complex moving parts to a fully functional referral program. And that's really been the journey. And here we are, 5 years later, we have hundreds of customers with thousands of referral programs running constantly around the world, and we generate consistently over 1 million referrals for our customers every year. We've kind of built, I guess, like a SaaS solution that lets brands do this for like a more affordable way. They don't have to pay an agency, they don't have to hire a consultant, they can kind of do it themselves because everything kind of comes in the box. And so you can see my journey kind of stemmed from I really think people as a media channel, as a marketing channel is like really valuable. And then I went on a journey of trying to find the most valuable leads. Like, what's the most valuable leads, the lead that we know are likely to convert. And I kind of progressed up the chain of humans to get to your customers are the best people to refer you. Now my whole business is built around that.
So, yeah, that's pretty interesting to hear, because everybody's intrigued by leads and revenue, because at the end of the day, that's how a business can and will survive. So let's talk a little bit about more into details of, let's say you start with a business right now. You mentioned that you have over 1 million of, let's say, potential leads. And actually they don't need to pay anything up front, which is also something very, very great for a business. And when do you think they can actually see results? How much time do they need, and how their journey can start?
Yeah, so I think it depends on the business. Okay, so if you are like maybe a small or medium-sized business and you're pretty nimble, you can pretty much launch a referral program within a week. Send an email to all your customers and ask them to make a referral. And within your first month, you'll start seeing referrals. If you are a larger business, it's maybe a little bit more complex because, and we mostly do serve larger organizations. Like, you know, they have compliance needs. And if I'm going to generate a link for a user, there's like data security and who hosts that data. And so it gets a little bit more complicated if you're a larger business, because you have so strict branding guidelines, you have very strict rules, you have very strict like compliance rules. In that case, it might take you 2 to 3 months to get your referral program off the ground. But I think that's pretty standard in a large business, that a new channel would take time to launch. But for a smaller business, really, we see them within their first month generating referrals. But I would say that, like, I know that you are the SEO expert, and I think there's like an interesting point here that's really relatable to both of us. Is the one thing about a referral program is it's a compounding channel. So the bigger your base gets, the more referrals you get. So you might start when you say you have 500 customers, you'll ask them to refer, they could maybe bring another 50. Then like 3 months from now, you ask all 550, then they would, you know what I mean? So the bigger you grow as a business, the higher your ROI will be on your referral program. And I think SEO is similar in the sense that you often have to do quite a lot of work up front, but it like compounds over time. So a referral program is similar. It's like a fully automated marketing channel, and you could be doing nothing on it and it will just bring you a lead. Like someone will refer someone that brings you a lead. And the same way that SEO in your world is like someone might have to invest a lot into content and a strategy to rank somewhere at the top of Google or in AI. But once you've achieved that goal, then you will just get a lead while you sleep and you're not necessarily doing anything for it. So I often, when people say to me, like, you know, describe referral marketing as a channel, I often say, like, I think of it a lot like SEO, where it's a compounding channel, which you do the work up front and then you reap the rewards like over time. And then you have to kind of keep improving it over time to get better and better and better, but it will compound, you know, as you put more work into it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. So that's why I was thinking, and that's what every business intrigues to generate leads at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Can you have a successful referral program with an average product?
With a what? Sorry, with a what type of product?
Can you have a successful referral program with an average product?
No, doesn't work. SEO might be a better channel for you there. I don't know if that would be better, but I would say that generally the businesses who get the best ROI from launching a referral program had some version of word of mouth already. They, you know, would hear, you know, when they got a new lead, they would say, where did you find about us? And someone would say, oh, a friend told me. Or it's a really good sign that you need to formalize a referral program if you are getting a little bit of word of mouth anyway. An occasional lead comes in, they say they were referred by someone, like then that makes sense. But the truth is, if your product is a bit average, and often you find people won't naturally introduce it to the friend. So you end up not having that little bit of word of mouth anyway. And then if you launch a referral program, it doesn't mean like it wouldn't work. You probably have a few people in your base who are desperate enough to get the, you know, $100 reward that they might go share their referral link on social media, and it could generate a few leads for you. But I would say that generally the brands that do the best with referral programs, they have really high NPS scores. They have pretty good customer service. They have a good brand. They have a good product. And then people are really happy to go and make a referral for that brand in exchange for a reward. But it is quite hard to get somebody to make a referral for a product that, you know, maybe is a grudge purchase, or they don't love it, or they're planning on leaving anyway.
Yeah, makes sense. So
yeah.
Now that we're talking about Google, do you think Google increasingly rewards companies that have strong brand recognition and real customer demand?
I think so. Maybe it's something you can also share some of the insight or what you know about it. But something we do find at Referral Factory, I can only share like my own experience of this is, for example, we've been making a lot of we've really invested a lot into our YouTube channel this year and making a lot of educational content. And then we also have been asking our customers as well as certain affiliates to promote their referral links socially, to promote us socially. And obviously we're then paying them for the leads they send our way. But we have found that as there's more talkability of Referral Factory online, that our rankings maybe do go up and we are getting more mentions in AI. Can I say I know fully how that correlates? No. I think that's where you're the expert and you could maybe kind of, you know, talk a little bit about that. But we've definitely noticed that the more we get affiliates and people to talk about us online, the more people search for Referral Factory, the more our rankings go up. There's a definite trend there. Can't say I know how it happens, but we have seen it happening. Do you maybe know if that's like, you know, something specifically in Google's guide that they're watching?
That actually makes sense, not only for Google, but actually for LMS as well, because they need to crawl budget and they cannot crawl the whole site with 1,000 pages. And for them, it's much cheaper and easier to crawl few paragraphs of each of the source and then hallucinate something about your brand. If they are good reviews, if they're talking good about you, you have different sources, the chances to show up on LMS are very high. So that actually makes sense.
Yeah. I think there's a definite correlation, and like we're trying to invest in a lot in that. Is whatever Referral Factory says about ourselves, we're trying to make sure that like we have other people saying the same thing or talking about us online as well. We find when we only just talk about ourselves, then our rankings go down.
Yeah, that makes sense, because it's only one source. No matter what you say about yourself, no matter how good you say, it's still one source. So at this stage of AI and LMS and all this Google and Bing search engines, we need more like PR building, like also link building is getting very crucial in a way that also citations are getting in a way back, because they tend to help a lot more those businesses that are in 200 citation and got new one to 50 backlinks. That actually is improving very well.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. Something we're maybe not looking at aggressively is like backlinks. We've not, I think in 23, 24, we pushed that quite hard, and I've stopped doing it, but maybe we should actively be looking like sourcing more backlinks as well.
Yeah, that's actually we tend to put that in a hierarchy these days, because it's back, and it's for a moment, I think last 2 years and 3 years back then, it was fading away, but now with all this kind of AI, it's somehow back, and it's moving very well to show up on LMS.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks. That's a great tip.
Yeah. But okay, do you think customer questions and referral conversation can be used as a source of SEO content ideas?
Well, I think so, yes. And the reason I think so is because what I'm finding is like we're making quite a lot of content, okay? So we are producing like probably about 15 videos a month now on our YouTube channel. It's one every second day. And if I go and look at like the organic growth of those videos, like which ones get a lot of views versus which ones don't, the ones that get the most views are the ones where like our head of marketing like interviews me, gets a completely like unique perspective, something that's not on the internet somewhere else. We turn that into content and publish it, and it tends to do better. So I would think that really original content, hot takes, things that are like unique and a unique expert's opinion on something seems to do better organically online, seems to spread faster, and definitely LLMs seem to like it. So that would translate to me to say, if your customers were giving if you had to ask a question and your customers had to answer it, it would be completely like unique content, expert content, because it's not a generic like kind of AI generated draft. And I would assume that the same result would happen there, that if you used, I don't know, you would have to say to me if you think I'm right or not, but I would assume that if you used customers, their content and if they answer some questions on you and you publish that, I would assume that would be perceived as like expert, highly original content and not something like generated by AI. And I would assume that because of that, it would perform better and be good for SEO. Is that what you're finding?
Well, it's all about quality, and we say quality over quantity, and sometimes it's an expert's field. Even Google and LMS tend to love more, and that actually makes sense.
Yeah.
But you mentioned that you post sometimes a lot in one day or in 1 week. But my question is that should we post constantly on each of social media platform, let's say on Instagram, Facebook? And the other thing is like, does location matter? Should we use a VPN to get more audience? Does that even make any difference?
Yeah, so in terms of the posting on different channels, we post on more channels maybe because we have a bigger team now. And I think that's dependent on your like team size or how much resource you have. But when we started out, we just picked 1 or 2 channels. Like I would say that like we are really going all in on YouTube, and possibly like LinkedIn is like our second channel, and all the other channels are really actually just repurposed content from LinkedIn or YouTube. We aren't custom making content for every single channel. It's just too much. We just don't have the resource to do it. So we're not custom making content for every channel. We're basically making content for YouTube and LinkedIn. And then we are just using AI to help us repurpose it to become a tweet and an Instagram post and a Facebook post. And my mom still likes our company Facebook posts all the time. So we've got to keep posting there for her. But yeah, I would say that on the different channels, I don't think it's required that you have to be across every single channel everywhere. I think like pick one or two channels, make original good content for those channels, and then repurpose that content for the other channels, just so that it's like fast and easy. And don't expect that you're going to have like huge engagement and growth on those other channels. But sometimes I do think clients like go online to check, are you a real brand before interacting with you? And if they see you all over socials, that really looks credible. So I would say, like, I don't think you need a unique and original strategy for each channel. Maybe if you're Nike and you have a marketing team of 200 people, then that makes sense. Yeah. But if you're a smaller business, no, that wouldn't make sense. And then in terms of a VPN, no idea. Not something I have experience with. But yeah, we do have kind of freelancers all over the world. So we maybe should think about that if that's relevant. I think one of our biggest challenges at Referral Factory is we don't have a specific country target market. Like I actually think like if I could go back and start again, I would change this, because it's so hard to do marketing when your target market is literally anyone, or like any business in any country. But yeah, for us, it's not really a thing because we're not trying to grow in one specific market. But I don't know. I don't have actually any experience with using like VPNs to post. So maybe you know about that and you can tell us about it.
Yeah, we don't have the data, but we sometimes use it and we experiment a little bit. So since our target is United States, and
yes,
we sometimes use it different location of United States. We don't have the exact data if it's working or not, but just sometimes we use it.
Yeah. Maybe it would make sense, actually. I know, for example, with X, like I was in the US last month, and when I was in the US, like my whole X feed just totally changed, and it was like totally different content. So I definitely think there's something about where you're posting from that might make an impact. Yeah,
and the same goes with the VPN. If you turn on the VPN in New York, then you can see the whole feed just start showing up from the local area, because that local, it's somehow the most amount of the feed that you see, I think.
Yeah.
And if we want to target those people, I think sometimes that's why we use it, but we don't have the leads that can prove that yet. But
yes. Okay. Cool.
Okay. So one thing that I was wondering is that, do most companies ask referral too early, or when is the time we should be able to win this kind of the right to ask for referral? Yeah.
So I think I'm going to answer your question in a different way to what you might think. Is I think it's less of, but definitely like asking for a referral at the right time is like advisable. But there's something I think that's more important, which is asking for referral at the right like stage of your business. So like what I mean by that is, like earlier I posted a piece, like an infographic thing to LinkedIn, and it basically says that like every business is in one of three phases, like starting, growing, and established. And what we find is asking for referrals in those different phases, you get different results. So sometimes we have businesses that come to Referral Factory and we want to help them. They're like, yes, we want to use Referral Factory. We want to get tons of referrals. But then we say to them, like, do you have any customers yet? They're like, well, we're just starting out. We only have 10 customers. And I say to them, like, I would love to help you, but you don't have enough people to meaningfully move the needle here. It might be better for you to go and find affiliates to bring you customers, do founder-led sales, do outbound marketing, etc. But what happens is, as your business grows, you move into different stages, and your base of, I want to say, customers, fans, leads, employees, like this base of people who know you gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think like you should think more about the timing of where your business is, maybe rather than the timing of when to ask for a referral. Don't get me wrong, both are important. But, like we always say, like our best customers at Referral Factory, like where we have no churn, like we have 4 plans, like starter, basic, pro, and enterprise. And starters like for small companies, and then you have basic for like middle and growing. Pro and enterprise is like really for maybe corporates or larger businesses, maybe 2,000 employees plus. And like, we have no churn at all in like enterprise, because most of them have like, say, 50,000 customers or 100,000 customers or 500,000. If you have 500,000 people to ask to refer, you're going to get referrals. Like, you don't have to even worry about what time you ask. So, but if you're really small, and where we see a lot of churn or a lot of people leave Referral Factory is they maybe just are too small to launch a customer referral program. They need to be a bit further on in their journey. So I would say, like, when you think about timing, or like think maybe also about like timing of where your business is. And if you're just starting out and you don't have a brand yet, you don't have any case studies, you don't have a lot of customers, it would be difficult for you to get a meaningful like lift by saying we'll launch a customer referral program. It might make sense for you to run paid ads, to like grow your base. And then like after 1 year, you have like enough of a base. Then you go to that base and you say, hey, make a referral and I'll give you a reward. And then you would get meaningful results, if that makes sense. So I think timing of the size, and then of course also timing of the referral. So asking when is a good time, when a customer is happy, like don't let them cancel their subscription, ask for a referral. That's not a good time. Don't do that. But generally we find like something that works really well is even if a human asks for the referral. So like at Referral Factory, our customer support runs 24/7 and we chat to customers all day. And often like if we chat to them, we can tell, was this a good resolution or, are they angry at us? And if it's a good resolution, immediately we ask for a referral. Like, hey, can we have a referral? And we find that works really well. But I would say when it comes to asking for referrals, it's actually more about consistency and asking a lot than it is about the specific time. Like usually someone will make a referral, it won't usually be that you send out an email and then all of a sudden you get all of these referrals. Like usually someone will like log into your dashboard, see you have a referral program. Okay, cool. Then they saw it in one of your emails that you have. Okay, cool. Then that Saturday night, they at a dinner party and someone's like, I'm looking for insurance or, I'm thinking of changing banks. And they're like, oh, you know what? You should actually use my bank. And if you use my link, you'll get 20% off or you'll get a free upgrade when you sign up or something like that. So I would say you have to consistently ask for referrals. It's less about asking just once at the right time and more about consistently asking for referrals, putting it everywhere, putting it in your staff's email signature, putting it on your website that you have a referral program. If they log into your product, they have it. If you're a traditional businesses and you have reps that go to site, put a QR code on all of their cars and that says like refer and earn, for example. Do physical advertising if you have a retail shop. Try and touch as many surfaces as possible where you prompt people to make referrals for your business in exchange for rewards. And usually then you get quite a lot of referrals because it's like top of mind for them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but basically if you want to somehow push a ranking or let's say referral program, you need to be pretty good on SEO so you can attract organic traffic, right? So how important is SEO for referral programs?
So I would say SEO for a referral program when you're only going to ask your customers to refer is maybe a bit less important. But if you also want to ask like affiliates to refer and influencers to refer, and you want to expand your base to ask anybody to make referrals for you, then yes, SEO would be important. And often you will find that like if we have customers in Referral Factory, you have the option. We give customers the option. Do you want your referral program to be indexed on Google or not indexed on Google? And often like people will index it on Google because our domain rating is higher than theirs. So if someone searches for a referral program, then their referral program will come up on the first page of Google because they're like stealing from our, but I don't mind. I'm really happy they get referrals, so it's no problem for me. But I would say, if you want to run the type of referral program where anyone can make a referral, an affiliate or anyone, then yes, SEO would become important because they need to be able to find that referral program. If you're only going to ask your customers in a controlled environment to make referrals, then it would be a bit less important.
Yeah, makes sense. But do you think AI will make paid acquisition more competitive?
Oh, that's a tough one. What isn't AI making more competitive is really the question. Yeah, I think AI is changing the game for everyone, but I think the reason AI is, actually, let me rephrase that. I think AI is already making paid ads more competitive. I don't think it will come. I think it is already here. And I think the reason that's happening is because AI is making it easier for people to build companies and to build products and to build, like, it used to be quite a big thing to set up a business. And now you can, like, AI can help you, and it can make a logo, and it can put up a website, and it's like, you can now launch a business in like a week, whereas it used to maybe take you, 2 months or something, whatever that number is. So what I find is that our price of ads is going up because more companies are bidding. So like we have more competitors, like the rate of competitors in the referral software space is increasing. There's like a new player like every month. Whereas if I go back like 3 years, there would be like one new player every 6 months, if that makes sense. And now it's like 1 or 2 every month. Usually they kind of disappear pretty fast when they see the prices you have to pay for paid ads. But I'm finding that, like, particularly if you target the US market, the price has just gone through the roof. And I personally think it's gone through the roof because more people are bidding on the same keywords, because more people are starting companies, and you have a lot more like companies and businesses being started. And because of that, there's just, there's the same keywords that we're all bidding on. So if more people bid on them, price is going to go up.
Yeah, makes sense. But do you think that actually we should think of using Google Ads for a business that want to target United States, or not?
I mean, I don't know. We do use Google Ads. Like USA is one of our target markets. So I wouldn't, it's not the only channel we use. And I actually find the leads we often get from search ads are really low quality, like way worse quality than organic leads we get where people were researching this, like went to our YouTube channel, found us. But I think for some brands, when they're like starting out, when they're new, maybe they don't have SEO and they don't have enough people to ask to refer. So their only option really is to pay to play. Like, it's very difficult to get traction otherwise. So yeah, I don't know, but I would say that, like, we have considered this year, like, just stopping spending on Google, like, because the price, what we spend versus what we get back is just not as good as it used to be. It did used to be better 5 years ago, and it's just not that anymore. And we kind of are more considering just investing more into growing our own brand and content. But again, we are bigger and more established, so that is possible now. But maybe it wouldn't have been possible before. But yeah, I would say, I'm not like an anti-Google. I think there's time and a space for it, but I do think it's getting more competitive, it's getting more expensive, and the quality is also going down. I also think there's so much fraud in like Google search ads, like people clicking on other people's ads and like making bots to click on ads. It's really a problem, and like people bidding on your name, and like I think Google needs to do a bit of a cleanup in terms of what they allow and don't.
Yeah. Sorry. So if you have one thing to say for the people that are in the business and are struggling, what advice would you give for them, especially when they are struggling for the things that aren't working well?
Yeah. I don't know. Something that's always helped me is, maybe when we were struggling, is that like doing too many things, like running too many marketing channels or trying too many things just makes you average at all of them. And something that helped us was when, we were going a bit crazy and we were like growing and maybe didn't have enough staff, and I was trying to do like this and this and this and this, and we just did everything averagely. And it's helped us to kind of think about like slowing down a bit and saying, of these like 6 marketing channels we're going to try, which 3 are more like, let's rank them by impact we expect we'll get. And let's rather just do 3 of them and do them really well, rather than try and do all 6. And I think if people are struggling, or they may be struggling to get traction, that's something to think about, which is to pick one to kind of pick one marketing channel and double down on it. And the other thing I would just say is like invest into organic growth as soon as you possibly can. I know that it's not always possible if you're like struggling or you're starting out. I know it's not always possible for you to say, okay, cool, we're going to make content and then we'll get leads in 6 months from this. But like, trust me, you always regret it when you don't do it. Like, I've been through the journey of just like paying for all the ads, and then the price went up, and then we were like, you know, caught with our pants down actually, and had to start producing a lot of content. And like, nothing is ever going to be as high quality as a lead that finds you because they found you organically. They were looking for something, you were recommended, they read your blog post, they checked your YouTube channel. Like, that's a really good quality lead. And like, you have to invest quite a lot into content and into brand in order to get organic leads, like leads that just find you without paid ads. And don't leave it too long before you invest into that channel, because the reality is like further down the line, when you get bigger and you need more and more leads all the time, it's not sustainable to always pay for them. So you have to have a brand, and you have to build, like, you know, SEO as a channel, referrals as a channel. These are kind of, I call them organic leads. It's like somebody who's coming to you with very high intent to buy. And why they're really good is because you need less of them to make money. Often you need 100 leads from Google just to convert 5. But if you're looking at a lead from SEO, you maybe only need 15 to convert 5. And if you're looking at leads from your customers who referred them, you maybe only need 10 to convert 5. So you need less leads to actually convert them into money when they come through like trusted organic channels, which really would be, I would say, like SEO and referrals are those. And just don't leave it too long to invest into that. I know when you're panicking, we've all been there, that you like think short term and you're like, let's just put the money in Google and we get clicks now. But it's a trap. And once you go too far down that road, it's hard to kind of come back from it. So just make sure you invest into organic channels as well, growing your brand, SEO, building referral programs, keeping your customers happy. They might only grow as they compound over time. But if you leave it too late, it's, I guess, like the stock market. If you leave it too late, it might be too late to invest.
Yeah. So, Kirsty, where can people learn more about you and Referral Factory?
Cool. So you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm Kirsty Sharman on LinkedIn. I think if you Google me, I should come up a few things. And Referral Factory is referral-factory.com. So we've just got a dash in our name, or just Google Referral Factory. That would be good for our SEO as well if you Google Referral Factory, so that's preferable. But if you Google Referral Factory, you'll find our website. You can see there on our website how everything works. You also can register for a completely free trial. You get a 15-day free trial. You can absolutely try and launch a referral program and see, does this feel right for your business before you have to pay a cent. So there's really like a trial option for those new people who aren't sure if this is for them yet, and they just want to play around and they want to see what a referral program would look like for their brand. Then Google Referral Factory, you'll find us, hopefully at the top, and and put in your website and just see what our AI builds for you. You might be impressed.
Okay, so the last question, because we don't want to keep you long. So the last question that we ask all of our guests are, when to fire a client?
When to fire a client? That's an interesting question. I think, how I would think about it is,
it's hard, we know.
It's hard because we all want money. So, money pays the rent and pays the bills. But I do think that if a client isn't delivering, like, there's 2 reasons I would fire a client. The one would be it's not delivering ROI anymore. So, like, and we have fired clients before where, maybe they are messaging our support like 10 times a day because they don't have any of their own resources. And can you do this and upload this for me? But like paying us $95 a month. And the unit economics just don't work. But I think that's not a reason to be like mean to them. But I do think as a leader of a business, it's time to call it quits, to say that, well, we actually negative on this client, so it doesn't make sense. And then I also actually just think, like, if you don't get along, is another thing. So depending on where you are, I think we all got to work every day. And, as entrepreneurs, you're usually working 12, 14 hours a day. And, life is too short to hate what you do. So I also think there is merit that if you can afford it, choose who you want to work with, because it generally makes your day better, your life happier, and probably you'll run a better business as a result. Yeah,
makes sense. So once again, Kirsty, thank you very much for being on our show.
Cool.
These were very valuable information for us and for the audience. So thanks again.
Cool. Thanks for having me.